You wouldn't expect that punters have taken it not only seriously, but to such an extent. It's $11.10 into $3.20 in 2 minutes.
The win pools, we've just got an updated one from the screen. It'll update in a minute. It's up to almost 32,000, and it's still $3.20 this horse. So this is staggering. All eyes are on this one. Number 3, Ascendancy from Barrier 3. The driver is Doug Willis.
All I can think of, he must have been so fast it's taken them 8 years to catch him.
Well, we'll see whether you're right, Keith, because the punters are certainly on here. Must be stable inspired, this one. Barrier 3, that's him hanging. Here's Dan Mielicki to call it.
Race start today is the popular pick. There's the light. So they're underway. And a good even breakaway too. Texaco's going through in the centre, trying to head off Tealsby Force. Texaco goes past Tealsby Force now. Going forward, Cheerful and Alabama Vance out wider. Just in behind them as they head out of the straight now was French Conquest. It's one away from the inside. Capone drives through inside it. Back to fourth last. Alabama Vance fourth, the outside as they quicken up now. Then Capone, 3 back along the inside of Cheerful, who's coming 3 deep. I Am a Stonegate's forced 4 deep. Then came Ascendancy, just running into a traffic jam there around French Conquest and Caramia Lendl. Texaco running to the 400. It's in front by a metre. 2, Call Me Ace still coming. And then came Tealsby Force, the inside of Alabama Vance. And wide out Cheerful. Back behind them, Capone still held up Ascendancy. Off the back in 29.5 the third quarter. Texaco's under the whip on the turn. Straighten up 1.5 metres to Call Me Ace. Tealsby Force is going to use the sprint lane, and then Capone, Caramia Lendl. And here's Ascendancy now into the clear, is starting to finish with a rush, the 10-year-old. And the leader, Texaco, but Ascendancy rushes up the outside. Ascendancy, the 10-year-old, having its first start today, and it's going to break through. Ascendancy's won at a photo, the miners, Capone, Tealsby Force, and close up in the centre, Texaco. A break then to Cheerful, Caramia Lendl. Further back to Alabama Vance, Call Me Ace, French Conquest, and I Am a Stonegate.
Oh, well.
Ascendancy. Ever known in betting, a 10-year-old stallion having his first start in the space of 2 minutes, back from 10 to 1 to 2 to 1. No luck at all in the run. Last at the home turn, rounding up the... Have a look at this for cheek. You'd think it was Caduceus. How'll he be when he matures?
Well, I've seen thousands of races run at Cranbourne, and I said to you, at the 600, it can't win. At the 400, no possible chance. And we were betting on whether this horse would run last coming around the home turn. You could see he was still travelling reasonably well here, but he's in between horses with nowhere to go. He's giving the leaders around about still 15 metres start at least. Now Dougie Willis. Dougie obviously knew this was a pretty smart horse.
Forget about the sprint line. He was out in the Bass Highway and still rounded them up.
Well, you can see horses switching back to the inside looking for runs, and others going all over the place, but he has left them standing. I pose this question, Keith.
He's just waving the whip. It's not touching the horse. What's the question? I can't answer it. Don't throw my form guide out the window.
What's he been doing for 8 years?
Well, that's what I said. He's obviously been in a big paddock. He's got so much pace they haven't been able to catch him for 8 years. Well, there must be an intriguing story, Adam, to answer your question, mustn't there? Why has this horse not been to the track? And how could they have imagined that he has done what he did today?
Well, we're going to have to get Hutchie to answer that one. I suppose all we can say is that we told you about the second at the Yarrambat Trials behind Sports Guide. Hutchie did say that Sports Guide would have won this race.
Second at the Yarrambat Trials. No wonder it was backed into 2 to 1. Oh, I'm serious. I almost had a bit of a giggle and saying to myself, lips please don't unpurse, when we're talking about a 10-year-old stallion making his debut and being backed. It's most incredible. I can't believe it, can you?
No, I'm staggered here. All we can
good
say
luck
is
to them anyway.
Trainer Ray Joslin. I don't know a lot about Ray. I don't know whether I'm being ignorant because I don't, but Hutchie, I'm sure, will meet Ray.
Obviously the Bart Cummings of the pacing world and more.
Ray might actually need Hutchie to give him a bit of boot space to get the money home that they've won on this horse today. But
he injured himself when he was a young horse, and I got him right when. But I've been that busy in my business, I sort of.
Yeah, what's your business, Ray?
We've got an agriculture earth moving business, and and he's been in the paddock. And the only reason I brought him back in was I had another horse go and I wanted another horse to work with him. And I brought this bloke back in about 5 or 6 months ago, and he started to show me a bit of promise, and I kept on with him. The other horse nearly wrecked me. He grabbed me on the leg and nearly put me out of business altogether.
Well, you wouldn't be crook on him now because he's the reason that you've been up with...
This is a good horse. It's the other bloke, the one that nearly wrecked me. So,
now, you didn't miss him?
He's a nice horse. He's a family pet.
You obviously like a punt because you didn't miss him on the tote, because as I was speaking here, we were doing a form summary on the race. You guys, you were up there watching, and you were on the... You might have been at the tote window, I think, right? He came in from something like $11 into 6 to 4 and ended up paying about 2s on the tote. So you obviously backed up your opinion with your cash.
I said to Ray the other day, like 20 years in the sport, you've had a couple of good things in me day. This is the best thing.
Is that right?
This is the best thing that was ever went around today.
Is that right? And you've done a good job sort of covering him up anyway. I mean, quite often you have to take him to trials to sort of get him qualified and that.
That's right. Well, we trialled him about 6 weeks ago and haven't put him away since then. And just so as people, he actually ran second to a horse called Boston.
Yes, I actually was in the Trotting Weekly, but it was about 20 metres away, so
and it was about 20 metres away, and I was strangling him.
Is that right?
Not to get. I'd have picked Noel up in about 3 strides.
Really?
Yes, and we put him away after that. That was his qualifying run.
What a huge over the 2s was then today. He can beat Boston.
I thought he was a 5s on shot.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he's a very nice horse, and you know, it's just good when these things come off, Bill.